So what we're about is responding to communities' needs. So as a result, it's very difficult to say what we're about.
Yes.
We're about communities, and whatever the issues are, we will endeavour to try and help them to help themselves.
And are you part of the Creating the Greenest County?
Yeah, well, I have been involved, not directly under partnership, but I have been involved in supporting it and be willing to contribute to today's event. And we are looking to maybe lead on the community section of the strategy.
Well, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
And what would you like to see the project achieve?
I would just like to see ordinary people being able to take actions that's of concern to them, but us as professionals actually trying to help them where it's needed. And I said in my presentation, there's no point telling someone about carbon neutral homes if the first issue for them is trying to find a home for themselves. What we have to do is give them the home first, and then while we're building it, say, let's build it ecologically friendly, and explain that to them.
That's what I thought was interesting about what you said, because you're really talking about parts of society that probably are not usually involved in this kind of, when you think green, you don't think about the old people's communities that meet once a week within their village.
Exactly.
But actually, I always feel they probably have a lot of wisdom to pass on about how to live in a more sustainable way.
Yeah, and also, but the whole point about sustainable development, it's that social as well as the economic and the environmental, because it's if people are happy in themselves, then they begin to take on wider societal issues, because they're not going to be concerned about the environment if their first concern is that I can't heat my house, I can't get out the house, I can't get to the doctors. You start addressing those things and people feel have a good quality of life. They then think, but what else is out there to improve that quality of life? That's where the environmental issues come in.
I agree with you. I wonder whether some of the people in the Ashton Hayes project who aren't involved maybe come into some of the different social criteria that don't.
I don't know. It'd be an interesting question. But we undertake what we call community action plans, which are community appraisals. And on average, we get about 80 to 90% response rate. So we know we're engaging a wide cross section, and that's helpful. But the other thing is actually trying to understand what triggers people. Because if someone said to me, are you interested in football? Come to a public meeting, I'd probably say no, because I'm not interested in football. But if you said, are you interested in sports, including cricket? I said, cricket, and I'll be there. So it's finding the triggers, the hooks, to get people involved.
And do you think that you've taken anything away from the conference today, learned anything new?
I am actually, because I think there's a lot going on out there that I probably wasn't fully aware of. So it's just making those connections now and getting us to work together more effectively.
And does ACRE, is it mostly volunteers, or how does it work?
We're a charity, so we have paid staff. We encourage people to volunteer in their community, not to volunteer for us, but to volunteer in their community and get things done in their community.
So what would be the most helpful thing that could happen for ACRE from Suffolk being a greenest county?
Well, we just think there'll be a better quality of life for people in Suffolk, and that's what our charitable objectives is all about.